Alright, hey guys, welcome back to Teal House Farm. We have a ton of stuff to do outside today, and I'm going to take you along for the ride. We're doing a giant shuffle and pasture switch, and all sorts of structures need to be moved, and we're going to attempt to do it all by ourselves, because Sam is at clinical practices today until like 6 o'clock. So, Annie had therapy this morning. She did great. It is now about noon. I'm going to go ahead and put dinner in the crock pot. So that way when I'm done outside, dinner is ready inside. So the plan for dinner tonight is we're doing some pork chops in the crock pot, and we're going to pick our carrots that need to be picked out of the garden. I'm going to do a big thing of like roasted carrots, and we're going to do some mashed potatoes and some probably some steamed broccoli. So if you watched our last video, our last grocery haul video, I have been systematically switching us to a whole foods diet, whole foods based diet, and so far it's going pretty well. Still having a trouble with some packable snacks for the kids, especially since you have to be careful at therapy. I cannot do anything with nuts because there are a lot of special needs children there who we have to be mindful of any allergies they might have, and I don't want anything messy or sticky or that needs refrigerated, and then you're just like really shrinking in your options. So that's a little bit of struggle, but meals has been pretty easy because I've already been kind of eating this way for the last few months because I wanted to feel better and lose weight, and lost a bunch of weight, which was great. And now we're just kind of getting those little things replaced that have been hard to replace. And this recipe has something that I do not have a dupe for. So if you know or have an idea of what I could use instead, I'd be really interested. So I'll show you this recipe. This is one of Sam's favorites. It's really yummy, but it does use a can of cream of mushroom soup. So yeah, I'm going to use it. I guess you make your own, but do you really make your own from scratch like every time you want to put something in a crock pot? Like, I don't know. This might be something that just stays in our diet. It's not something that we use every day or really every week. It's like maybe once or twice a month I might need one of these. But the recipe is really simple. I have 4 pork chops, and you might say, only 4 pork chops for a family of 8? And yes, because we really load up on the vegetables. The meat is not the main dish. I know a lot of times we call it the main dish, but it's not. It's all about the vegetables. Let's fill up on the vegetables, and the meat is a nice little accent of flavor. So I'm going to put in 1 can cream of mushroom, and I will say when you make this, you're like, this does not look like enough sauce for 4 pork chops. Trust me on this, it does once you're done. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of garlic. I'm using dried garlic because I'm too lazy to crush fresh garlic cloves. You know, fresh garlic cloves if you want to. Maybe like a half teaspoon of pepper and a pinch of dried thyme. And then I'm going to add ranch seasoning, like the ranch dressing. And I am not going to share my recipe for the ranch seasoning because this is the first time I'm trying it where I've made it from scratch instead of like bought the packet, and I don't want to lead you astray in case this does not work. So not going to recommend something that I don't know for sure. So we're going to mix that all together, and then we're going to put the pork chops on top. Sauce is all mixed together on the bottom, pork chops on top. Cover, low. These are pretty thin bone-in chops. We're going to do low, about 5 hours. We'll have them really good. If it's a thicker chop, you'll need longer. And about halfway through, I go ahead and turn the chops over. That wasn't in the original recipe, but I feel like it coats them better with the sauce. And that's it. I'm going to get changed out of my town clothes, and let's head outside and show you what's going on and see if we can get some helpers to help us get everything moved because we have a lot to do. All right, got the finest in summer homestead fashion for you. I got Sam's hat, which is all wonky because the kids stepped on it. I got my yoga pants, and I got tall socks pulled up in my mowing shoes because it is way too hot today to wear jeans, and rubber boots. But I also don't want ticks up my legs, so this is my solution. Though when we go out in the big field, I am going to have to put jeans and rubber boots on because, yeah. But for now, this is a little cooler. Okay. There's a lot of steps in this process, and you can see what a mess everything is behind me. That's why it feels very overwhelming. So we're just going to put our heads down and just work on it one step at a time. But the final goal is that this coop ends up out in our far field so that we can split up our boys and girl goats and sheep. And so they have their own separate pastures so that the boys stop annoying the ladies. We also want to have control over who breeds who, things like that. So they need to be separated now because they're getting to that age. We need to start worrying about that. So This has to be done. I was going to do it tomorrow when Sam was maybe here and could maybe help me a little bit between studying, but it is now going to rain all day tomorrow, which we desperately need the rain. It hasn't rained in weeks, but it means I have to do this today if it's going to get done, because then it's going to be Sunday, which is crazy, and then it's 4th of July, and then all of a sudden it's Tuesday, and then the ball just keeps rolling, doesn't it? So let's go. Got some kids coming out to help. There are a lot of steps because there's a lot of different animals using different structures that we're going to rotate around. You don't like wasps? I don't like wasps either. The front is cleared. That'll allow me to be able to just pull it forward, which is what we want. Now we got to get the current inhabitants out.
Mom, can I show them my pose first?
Your what?
My pose.
Your pose?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Go. All right, looks good. Current inhabitants are baby chicks. We had 11. No, we had 13. Now we're down to 8. Something, and I don't think something is getting them. We think they were getting out, and we searched the coop.
Can I come in?
And I think they're getting, we first couldn't figure out how they were getting out. Yes, come in. But I think they fly really well, actually, even for little babies. And I think they were flying up and getting out here where there's no chicken wire. Because there's no sign of a struggle. Usually if something is getting them, there's a sign of a struggle. So we've had them temporarily like this. We're going to move them to a better coop, which is where the geese are now. So let's get their stuff moved. Carry this?
Then why did you put it in here?
Can you carry this for me? I won't let them fly out. You got that?
Why do you have that? Why do you have that, Mom?
You would stay there. I'll come get that from you. Okay, that's it. The girls' old playhouse will serve as the goose's kind of shelter for just a little bit. Because what the eventual plan is that the chickens and the geese will be in here kind of semi-free ranging. I mean, I know they're fenced in. It's a really big area though. They won't really need much to support them. But the chicks are too young to be running around and the geese aren't used to them. So this will let the geese get used to having them in their enclosure, and then by the time the chicks are big enough to run around, we can just open up the door and everybody can use that coop if they want to.
24 hours. Let's see. You're at 24 hours.
Annie, it's really hot out there.
Go!
I'm gonna sit right in front of the AC for a minute.
Can you get
I feel your pain. You're like a warm
Do we
blanket.
have strawberries?
Yeah.
No, we do not have strawberries.
No!
But it's a wet blanket.
Me and Mikey are
You're
doing
shaking the camera.
Me and Mikey are doing a color check. Mommy is doing.
Hey, you want to tell everyone what you worked on today in therapy? No? But you worked so hard?
No, you can't.
Annie worked on riding a 2-wheeled bike with no training wheels. How'd it go, Annie? You don't know? I heard it went pretty well. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Peekaboo. Ouch. I'm actually super impressed that I got that all done, and I got it done. Only actually ended up taking 2 hours. I thought it was going to take a lot longer than that. Let me show you here. Turn around. Okay, so my plan, unless Sam tells me it's a bad idea, because sometimes I'm not good at thinking things all the way through all the eventualities, and Sam is. But my plan is to bring this fence line right there all the way to the driveway and right down real close to the driveway, because I hate mowing this weird little strip and it gets really tall and it's kind of annoying. So I'm going to bring the fence around there, so that coop there, it'll be real close to the road or to our driveway, but it'll be inside the fenced area. And then we'll do a little bit up here and then up, and it'll reconnect here. It'll just elongate the pasture just a little bit, but it'll let us basically cut our pasture into 2 big pastures, so boys and girls, without having to lay a bunch of new fence. They are hosing each other on the trampoline. That's what that screaming is. Now I really want to just finish everything today. Like I said, it's going to rain tomorrow. But the ground is so hard because it hasn't rained in so long that I literally could not get the step-in posts to run the electric fence farther. Couldn't get them in the ground. So tomorrow it's going to pour all day, and then my plan is Sunday we'll do church, come home, relax a little bit, and then Sunday evening when it starts to cool off, I'll come in and I'll put in those posts, even if I don't get the wire up, because the ground should still be really soft. And then putting up the wire super fast. I could do that one morning next week before we head to therapy, and then we'll be ready. So any way you look at it, we'll get these sheep and goats separated out within a few days. The hard work has been done. We have gotten that emptied and moved for them. Hey, Ivy, spray me. I'm super hot. Ivy, your arms is too short.
With your thumb. With my thumb.
Get me.
Over the rainbow.
There we go. Thank you. You got me. Feels good. Okay, pretty much done. We got my shower, definitely got a sunburn. Finished dinner, we got some oven roasted veggies. Those are the carrots that we picked. I took the small ones that weren't quite fully developed, and then onions from the garden, and then some peppers and tomatoes, and roasted them in the oven. Got our pork thing we put in the crock pot, and we got some steamed broccoli. Sam is back from the hospital, long day. There he is. Ding. Hello. And he is super hungry, so it's already started. We get the girls in here and have dinner together. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you all next time. Have a good night.